faculty must be equipped with all the tools and technology, whatever you want to exhibit in your class. Right? That is the first point. And next, you have to enhance your teaching effectiveness. Right? What kind of strategy that you want to do? What kind of process that you want to carry out in your entire journey of teaching? You have 45 periods of your lecture for one particular subject. How are you going to structure it? How are you going to curate that 45 hours of teaching for your students and make them learning is fun, right? And make them understand they are going to explore a lot of things, right? And you as a faculty, you have to improvise your outcome, right? At the end of the day, they have to come and tell you after getting placed, ma'am, as you have done Java programming or C or C++ programming for me, I have achieved my placement. I have got my placement as you taught this particular subject. That is a real outcome for a faculty. That is a real what kind of recognition for a faculty like us. Students are coming and giving you a kind of accomplishment status that they have done this because of you. Right? That is what you feel better, and you as a faculty, you will be so proud as well. Right? So enhance your teaching effectiveness by curating your 45 periods of your entire session for the semester. Make a kind of a strategy that your teaching is more effective, right? And you're also improvising the outcomes of your teaching, right? Towards the end, each and every student, as I told you, it should be a personalized learning. Don't give a kind of a teaching or an instruction by you so that it is common for everyone. If somebody is feeling very dull in class, right? Don't call them that you are so weak or something else, right? Make sure that they are also feeling so comfortable with small exercises. Give them a chance so that they also come forward and tell something, right? Make the class more participative, right? We even call it to be a participative learning, right? Some of the students will be very studious and they will come forward voluntarily to come and teach something. Or if you give a seminar, only few students will come and take those seminars very effectively, right? But don't neglect the students, those who are very shy or those who are not focused by you. Don't do that. Rather, give them some kind of a small portion so that let them also come and stand in front and expose what they do. Each and every student, from a teacher point of view, to understand that they have some talent within them. It is a duty of an educator like us to bring that kind of a talent from the student, make he or she to be proud in such a way that they learn something from you. Right? So make some kind of modern strategies. What are the strategies that you feel like I have to touch the hearts of every one of the students present in my class? What kind of strategy that I can adopt so that everyone is very convenient with my class? Automatically that student will follow your instruction, right? Because you are entering into their minds that this particular teacher is my favorite teacher, right? Either two things will happen. One is you should have a very stuff or knowledge in the courses, whatever you teach, right? The second thing is student should have a mindset that this faculty is very comfortable with me, motivating myself, even though I'm an average kind of a student. But the way the faculty is motivating me is quite awesome. Right? So I like the faculty very much because they are very comfortable and they are keep on motivating me in such a way that I can explore the talents, whatever I have within me. Right? So that kind of mindset as a faculty, as an educator, we have to educate them. Right? And as I told you earlier, we have to prepare the students for Industry 4.0, industry skills. You are preparing the student for a graduate level, right? He or she is going for higher education for master's program, right? Your parents, whatever you teach your undergraduate program, have to be very commendable, right? University courses are also having a lot of professional elective courses within that buckets of verticals. So ensure that you are giving some kind of a practical exposure. As I told you, You cannot change the curriculum because what a practice that we have is all the courses in our curriculum are lab integrated courses, even English, mathematics, right? So each and every course is a lab integrated course. They should have a hands-on session for all the courses. So faculty, all the lab integrated courses will have 5 hours per week. 3 hours faculty will take in lecture sessions and 2 hours will be practical. So whatever the concept that is being taught in the week time, that will be rolled out as a practical session to the students. Right? So that you cannot do because you cannot change the curriculum or the syllabus. As I mentioned earlier, give those industry skills as a value-added course during your summer or winter vacations. Invite your own alumni, right? It doesn't cost much, doesn't expensive much. You make use of your alumni forum, your alumni resources to that extent. Invite your alumni as a resource person. He or she will be working in IoT or will be working as a data engineer, data analyst, or data scientist. Make sure that they are coming here and rolling out a program data science using Python. Right? When you are rolling out a program data science using Python over a period of 1 week or 50 days of time during the summer, right? Make sure that they are using either Jupyter, Google Colab, so that they learn these tools very well. Right? When you are Python programming using your Google Colab, teacher you are educating themselves, right, how to use these kind of tools. Right? Give some small kind of an exercise where for data science you have a platform called Kaggle, Kaggle, where Kaggle will have a lot of real-time problems and solutions even it has. So we give the problems there and the students to solve those problems using Python language. And nowadays, don't think that a mechanical, civil or an EC or a degree faculty or a student doesn't need these kind of things. It is a must. Coding is must for each and every student, whatever may be the discipline. Right? So make sure that all the students are having a very good coding skills and programming skills. So faculty can also learn with a lot of platforms that is freely available. I'll tell you those platforms that are freely available. When I tell you, they cover the topic of tools for engineering education. Right? So industry skill is utmost important. Right? We as a faculty, we have to equip ourselves. As your correspondent sir mentioned, we should be a lifelong learner. Don't stop learning. Right? If you want to deliberately keep a data science using Python course as a summer validation course to the students, equip yourself in that data science using Python. You be the instructor in delivering the course. Let you be the coordinator for that course. You give sessions every day. On top of it, you are inviting your alumni also to deliver the course. Right? So you are equipping yourself before you deliver that course. Students should have a confidence within you that faculty is also learning. Faculty is knowledgeable enough to clarify my queries and clarify my doubts, whatever the projects I do. Right? Faculty is also working on with that project and they also give the solutions. They are able to clarify my particular doubt or the error whatever I have in a piece of code. Right? That kind of confidence you should create among the students. Right? So learn yourself, equip yourself with the industry skills, whatever I mentioned over here. There are a lot of skills available now. Right? Starting from your artificial intelligence, IoT, big data, robotics, right? Data science, or data analyst, right? You can also do data analytics course. A lot of courses are available. Make sure that you are also equipped, right? And promoting the technology integration. As I told you, integrating a lot of tools into your teaching and learning process will for sure attract the audience. Attracting the new generation, the Gen Z student is very, very difficult. Right? You may not know what kind of social media presence they have. They are into a lot of exposure when they go on to the outside world. Right? They have even the updated current technology that is happening. They will also have in the mind that why don't we also use all these things in the classroom. Right? So integrate some of the technology. I'm not asking you to integrate everything all of a sudden from tomorrow onwards. Don't do it. We'll go it in a small face-to-face of learning, right? Start something in this week, start something in next week, so that you also parallelly learn and ensure that you have a confidence and adopting such kind of technology that is being integrated into your classroom. Like that's very, very important. Don't go in a rush. You make yourself some kind of a strategy that this week I will adopt this tool, next week I will adopt another tool. And you can go in a phased way. You can go in a step-by-step process. Right? And make sure that you're giving the student an efficient kind of a learning when you integrate these technology into your teaching methodology. And encourage the active and student-centered learning. As I told you, we have to completely move around the student-driven learning methodology rather than a teacher-driven, right? And give more activity within the classroom. We even call it the activity-based learning, right? Give more kind of an activity, kind of a role play, right? Or something kind of, you can even have a puzzle solving sessions, or take the Mentimeter, which even gives you a lot of word count. Students will be more enthusiastic in participating in such a kind of an activity. Right? Or even give them two groups, right? They will debate kind of a thing with one topic and another topic. Let them have a kind of a participation within your classroom. I'm not asking to waste the classroom. At least for 10 minutes you can do it. Even towards the end of your session for 5 minutes, you can give some kind of operations can be done in a particular concept, right? So make sure that you're giving the concept, right? So make sure that you're giving the activity-based learning. Right? Sorry for the interruption. So the other one is you have to address the challenges in engineering education. Right? Identifying the gap is a very important thing, and it should be very much useful for you as well. Right? Identify the gap even within your curriculum or within your syllabus. Right? That gap can be rolled out as a content-based education, right? We even call it as content-based syllabus, right? Identify such a kind of a gap. Once you identify the gap, explore what kind of solutions that you can give. This is a great challenge, right? As I mentioned, for our syllabus, we go through each and every unit will be having 2 to 3 exercises, right? And each and every course will be having mini projects. Each and every course will be having different set of assignments. We don't give assignments to the entire class, right? So you have to make sure that the students are getting leveled up step by step, improvising their confidence level in that particular course, right? They are understanding even in a more better way. For those things, you have to the first challenge will be, what is the gap that you are identifying? Once the gap is being identified, explore the solution. You as a faculty, you have to explore how can this be solved. Whether one concept, as I told you, you teach something, but students are not able to understand. Don't get frustrated that I prepared very well, but why a student didn't even understand what I told now. Give them a chance, make the methodology into a different thing. And come for the next class and tell them that today it will be a kind of a peer learning. Two students, they learn together, they come and discuss something. One student is telling one topic, another student is telling another topic. Give them a kind of a platform where they can also explore certain kind of a new way of teaching the students. Right? So these identification of gap and finding out the solution for this gap is very, very important for a teacher. And finally, foster a culture of continuous improvement, right? As a faculty, we experiment a lot of things in our life, right? And these experimentation will for sure have a kind of a growth within you. You will have a satisfaction once you do these kind of teaching methodologies. these kind of improvements in integrating technology into your teaching, everything, you will feel satisfied when you come towards the end of the semester. I have done justice to my class. I have done justice to the entire session of this 60 students whomsoever have attended my class. So this is a way that I have to improvise myself when I go for the next semester. For the next semester, when you take another subject, you improvise yourself. Right? Because already you have experimented something in your previous semester. You are able to now implement in a more better way, in an improvised way in your next semester. So every semester you keep on moving with a lot of strategies next to other colleagues as well. Right? I've already told what is innovative teaching, right? So main thing, we are going to have an interactive session. We are going to focus on student-centered learning, right? It should be more adaptive. Right? As a faculty, we should be adaptive first. We should be having an open mind to learn a lot of industry skills. Right? And the very best example is a flipped classroom. As I told you, prepare something, take a video of your session, right? And give that video to the student on the previous day itself. Let it go through it, and on the next day you give a practical example. Ask them to solve the problems, whatever you give. Right? So this is a kind of one method of innovation. So make sure that you are doing this. What are key approaches to your innovative teaching? Right? I've recognized the major things, right, which you can also feel that once you adopt this, your students will be much impressed and they will have a kind of obedience to you, whatever you teach, right? So that's very important. So one is collaborative learning, second one project-based learning, gamification and personalized learning, right? What is this collaborative learning is all about, right? So the students, they work in teams, right? You divide the students into a group of teams and they are in a position to solve the real world problems, right? You're giving a platform for them to collaborate as a team in order to provide the solution for a real world problem. So they are developing a real world application. For example, if you are teaching mobile application development course, right, ask them to develop a mobile application for any NGO, the non-government organization, which is working towards sustainability. Right? As you all know, there are a lot of SDGs. Right? Ask them to develop a mobile application for any one of the SDG so that it can be given to an NGO. Right? Inculcate or educate the students in such a way that they should also have a mindset of creating a very good ecosystem so that they are also participating in the nation building. Right? So we should create that kind of an ecosystem in order to make sure the student is doing something for the betterment of the nation, for the country. How you can do? You can do it through the collaborative learning. Form a team, ask them to create some application for the real world problem and make them present in your class so that when they come and present, you give them points, right? You can also give them some kind of a reward, some kind of gift to them so that they get motivated and come for your next session like this for your collaborative learning. Make the students that they are completely prepared when they come and present. Give the kind of a recognition for the students that are really outperforming. Right? And make sure that each and every team member in the team is presenting. It doesn't mean that if there are 4 members in the team, you give importance to only 2 members in the team. Don't do that. Ensure that each and every member in the team is coming and contributing. They should come and speak on the stage. You are giving a platform for them to talk, to improvise their communication skill. At the same time, they don't have the stage fear. When they sit for placements or when they sit for some kind of interview process, they will have a confidence as because they practiced in your classes like collaborative learning. You can assess the individual performance, you can assess the team performance, you can also assess the overall project. You're also cultivating the students' mind to work towards SDG for sustainability. You are making the students to develop some applications which should be used for NGOs. Some kind of a charity kind of a mindset you are creating. This is what I told that we as educator and teacher is a noble profession. Right? They are doing something for the betterment of the nation. Right? So example here, as a computer science faculty, I have taken it as a group coding project. Right? You can also collaborate. You can use certain tools like Milo, Visual Paradigm, or even Canva, where parallel students can work on creating something new. Right? Team collaboration with even creating the project. The coding can also be done like that. Right? 4 members in a team can parallelly code. Few can code 5 lines. Another few members can code another 5 lines. So make sure that the coding is also given in a collaborative way. Right? So students will have much interest upon your methodology of teaching. The next one will be your project-based learning, which completely encourages the students to have a kind of a hands-on experience. Right? So even if you have completed unit 1, give a kind of a small mini project to them, so that the topic which you have covered, they are developing something as a project. We call it as a mini project. Right? This project-based learning or a hands-on experience will make the students better understand the concept. Right? It is not marking up all the sudden and putting something on the paper and getting some grades and coming up. Right? How well a student have taken the content, whatever you have delivered, and what is the level of or the extent how they have understood the concept, what you have delivered. That's very important. Right? So just like giving some exercise or giving some kind of these collaborative, that alone will not help. Make sure that you are giving a project-based learning. Give some small projects. Suppose you have a holiday, it could be a Diwali or some, whatever you have some kind of a stretched holidays, give some kind of this project-based learning. Ask them to solve some real-world problems. Give a list of 10 to 15 projects. Right? You can even ask the student to do it as an individual project or ask them to join 2 or 3, not maximum 3. Don't make much of a crowd. If you have 5 or 6 in a team, only 3 will do the project, other 3 will just enjoy. Don't make the team size more than 3. So that each and every student have to participate in this project-based learning. Right? So, and give a kind of recognition for them to start really well. You tell them that your best projects will be posted in our website, or your project will be put up on our YouTube, or we will also put up on our social media so that you will get some credentials. Nowadays, students are very much fast in putting all their works in the social media. Right? Even without your knowledge, if suppose they have developed some kind of a project, they would have been posted in LinkedIn. Right? We may not be aware, but they will be tagging all of you and they will be asking what the comment is. Right? So when such kind of projects are being done with the students and they are posting it on the social media, you as a faculty you have to recognize it. Right? You have to make them feel comfort that your work is great work. Right? So make the students to do a kind of a project for all the courses, whatever you deliver. Right? And the third one, the more innovative is the gamification. Make the learning more fun-filled. Right? There are a lot of gamification tools that even a student can learn the coding also. Right? We have a tool called Scratch. Right? We have also a tool called Code Combat where students can go play it to be like a kind of a game. Right? The Python programming or the Python basics can be done by using a gamification. Right? Even you can also develop your own gamified application in order to teach the concepts whatever you teach to the students. Ask some of the students to create or prepare a simulated software of the topic what you teach. Right? Gamification will improvise the students to understand the concepts. Not only that, they will also have a kind of a positive thinking on learning something new. Some of the students would have come, they will not have that kind of an interest towards this particular branch. Right? Even to that kind of audience, you are pulling them towards you, telling them that learning is fun. Right? So through these gamifications, right, in your classrooms when you do, students will have more kind of an interest towards learning. Right? I will also tell you some of the tools for this gamification. Right? And you can also even, one example I've quoted over here is, you have an application called Kahoot, right? You can even give quizzes on it, right? Some kind of interactive quiz, right? But the coding part, I've given you some examples, I'll tell you. Scratch is one example and Code Combat is another example, right? Where through game, right, it will be like a playing a game, but students are learning coding. Student will learn C, C++, Python and then Java, right? So make sure that even a non-CSCIT graduates and students can also make use of these gamification platforms in order to learn coding, right? The next one will be your personalized learning. You are tailoring all your course content to each and every one of the student, right? That we call it as a personalized learning, right? So even if you have a learning management system within your organization, right, make sure that it is very responsive. You can also have a responsive learning management system where you can curate the individual learning content for each and every one of them. As I told, don't give the assignments one particular question for the entire class, right? For the divide the students of the entire class into different groups, right? Even it could be based on the CGPA or based on the level of understanding. You can even group them and give the assignments as a group assignments, right? Let it be 10 to 15 questions and then you sparingly give it at random to the students, right? So that you are giving a personalized kind of a care for the student even while giving an assignment to, right? And even at the time of activity-based learning or a project-based learning, make sure that each and every personalized kind of a thing that you do, right? For each and every student or a team, you are identifying something very different, right? If you go and tell one team that you have to develop a very big mobile application, they will not do, right? But make sure that they are doing a small thing as if to reproduce or recreate something which is in existence, right? What if you try of reproducing or recreating videos or whatever, that they will explore, find, go there. They will do something copying from somebody else, some kind of a coding something else, right? But they will try and come and give you something. They will come and completely replicate this video as a whatever and tell you that I've done something, right? And that team is also getting satisfied where they also develop something. You didn't give them a kind of a new application. You are asking them to replicate some existing one. But even though they feel satisfied as because they have done something, right? This we call it as personalized learning. You are giving the problem statement in a different way for different individuals, right? Make sure that that can be done either through your LMS if you have, or you can use your own strategy to do that, right? Any doubts or clarifications as of now? I think I can proceed, right? Was it given some kind of an example when you want to integrate a technology into the classroom? One thing is the Google Classroom. I think you all might have used it during your COVID time, right? So you can post all your notes, materials, your lecture notes. As I told you, don't post one assignment. Give a lot of assignments so that different students are picking up the different assignments. You can also grade the marks of whatever they have submitted, and you can also show those grades to the students, right? Where that Google Classroom is one kind of an LMS, right? And if you want to have a kind of an online meet, you can immediately create a Gmail link and you can interact with the students for doubt clarification or something else which is happening beyond the working hours, right? So Google has provided a lot of facility. You can have a whiteboard, right? And you can also create a quiz using Google Forms, right? It's very as simple, doesn't make much expense over it, it's not costly, it's free to use, right? So you can also convert the Google Classroom kind of a setup to your own institution LMS, right? Where each and every faculty is having their own class, people are joining in, you grade everything, you also post the questions of the mini project, everything, ask them to submit the project report or the video of their projects, you evaluate, put the grades over there, let them also see what the grade is. You also have a documentation within you, right? Rather than going in for some kind of a bigger one, I'm giving you a just simple LMS, Google Classroom can be used, right? Another thing, communication tool is very important. If you have your institution account, you can have Microsoft Teams, Zoom, or the best thing is going with the Gmail, right? A simple kind of technology integration into your classroom, right? So even a student will find, suppose I have some doubt or something that I need to have a discussion for my mini project, right? So I can request my faculty to join in a GP so that my faculty, he or she is giving me those kind of clarifications for my project through a GP. That comes your communication tool. It's very simple, right? You are posting something in your Google Classroom, your student is requesting you to give a session for doubt clarification, and you're opening up a Gmeet and going there and giving them the certain kind of a solution what they need, right? So this will be a new kind of a thing. Not only a new process because it is already in existence. I'm giving you a simple example. But with the upcoming slides, there are a lot of new technology that can be integrated into your classrooms, right? We'll see one by one. So this is your learning management system, right? Your Google Classroom. As per your communication tools which I mentioned, Gmail, Microsoft Teams or Zoom, right? And for using quizzes, you can either use Kahoot or you can even just simply use a Google form so that making your students participate in that quiz. It is getting recorded in your Excel sheet as well, right? That you can take it as a documentation, right? So the tools for engineering education, right, are listed certain tools which are readily available for the students and faculty to explore. One thing will be your Smile or Educator, right? So it provides a kind of quality education to each and every one of the participants, the learners, and it is an initiative from IITs. 7 IITs altogether, they have established this NPTEL platform. Right, so as a faculty, you can also learn. There are domain certifications, like if you want to equip yourself in artificial intelligence or data science or IoT. So you can also take the domain related certifications and say that you are also equipped with industry skills. As I told you, you should also learn industry skills. So this is one particular way for you to learn industry skills for which the complete right? Otherwise, the video materials, the assignments, everything is free for you to make use of these resources provided by NPTEL or SPIRE. And you are appearing for an examination, you are also getting certificate with a higher grade, right? So, in a streamlined way, if you take up the domain certification, that will be also very much useful for you to equip yourself with industry skills. The next one is your Infosys Springboard. This is a very good platform which is being given by Infosys. It's also freely available. You have a lot of resources here. Even for students, you can even recommend them to take up the Proctor certification. Right? A lot of emerging technology certifications are available in Infosys Springboard, where you as a faculty can also take up, and you can also educate your students to take up these kind of emerging technology certifications. Those certifications will be also proctored one. So you have a confidence within yourself that you have cleared the Proctor certification and you have equipped with that particular technology. Right? There are other certifications as well. You can also have a lot of programs with recent technologies. It's very easy, and they also have a kind of paced learning. Right? In between, you'll be having certain questions to answer, and in between, you'll also having a knowledge check. Right? And towards the end, you have to take up a test, clear up the test, and then you have to secure a grade. Above 17 above, you'll getting a grade, you'll be clearing the particular certification. Right? So this is another very good important platform where you can improvise your skilling process, right? And simulation softwares, as you all know that a lot of simulation softwares are available. You have CAD, ANSYS, a lot of things available for mechanical and civil engineers. You can also go to some platforms which is also providing kind of, if it is an EC, right? You have a virtual labs which is being given by IITs. If it is a microprocessor or like electronic devices courses, you can also go to this virtual labs by IITs and make students to work in that platform as well. Right? So students virtually they create a kind of a circuit, right, and they explore something, and even a collaborated team can also work together in that platforms, right? So make use of some kind of a simulation software where you are making the class very interesting, right? And next one is a virtual lab, as I mentioned. IIT virtual lab platforms is available for all the different disciplines, right? Even for mechanical, it's also the mechanical, electrical, electronics, computer science, all these branches, it's having their own virtual laboratories. You can ask your students to log in. You also log in and ask them to explore whatever the experiments available. You can also map the experiments given in an university syllabus with that of the syllabus given by the IITs, right? So you can even in your course coverage you can mention that some of the experiments are being done through the IIT's virtual lab, right? So let them have some kind of a hands-on session in these platforms as well. And another important thing for coding platform, you can ask your students to practice in HackerRank, Lead Code, Code Forces, Code Chef. Right? These platforms are freely available. The only thing is you have to create an account, ask them to create an account and then practice in these platforms. Right? And there are also another particular thing where you can have the coding within the classroom. There is a platform called Programmers where you can ask the students to learn from the scratch. The student is a beginner, right? They want to learn C++ at the beginning stage. You can make use of this Programmers platform to ensure that students are learning coding right from the scratch. Right? These platforms like HackerRank, Lead Code, Code Forces, or CodeChef is some kind of a higher level of platform where students, those aspiring to get more packages, the super dream offers, they can aim for solving these problems. They have different level of difficulty. For example, you have easy level, moderate level, and difficulty level. Right? So, as the students will start from the easy level of coding, so that when they keep on learning, right, when days goes by, they will go to moderate. Right? Then ask them to jump to kind of a difficulty level. Right? Students will have a continuous kind of a learning process when they input these kind of a platform. But they have to do it in a continuous way. Right? It is not like you can go and use this platform for 1 week and next week they wind up. Right? It will not solve the purpose at all. Using these platforms, they should have a continuous kind of a learning system. Right? So this HackerRank Lead Code will be a very good platform for practicing coding. And then the augmented and virtual reality. Right? This again a very important tool nowadays. Right, creating a kind of a VR application or an AR application to understand a concept. You even ask your students to create such an application. Right? Create an AR or VR application. For VR, you need the headset for visualizing it. Right? But for AR, you can even ask the students to use certain AR simulation softwares in order to develop the concepts, whatever they are going to tell you that I have developed a particular concept, so this can be deliberately given to the students for learning. Then give them one small topic and ask them to explore that topic and create an AR simulation and ask them to come and present it. Right? So you are giving what technology integration into your classroom. Right? You are also making the student to participate. Right? At the same time, you're also, if it's a teamwork, you're also adopting the collaborative learning as well, right? So this AR, VR is the boom, right? So a lot of things are happening, even with respect to architectural walkthroughs. You can wear the headset and you can have a kind of a walkthrough for the entire thing sitting on your place, right? You need not go and visit the place actually, right? On your seat, you can see everything, right? That's a beauty of virtual reality and augmented reality, right? So this will have a great kind of improvisation in the education as well, right? Nowadays the students, they want to have some kind of fun created one for learning, right? Even my students of 2024 passed out, they even created the +1 +2 science subjects with augmented reality. Right? So understanding the functionality of a brain, right? So you will having a brain picture, and then they will be marking up what are the parts of the brain, how the brain is getting function, what are the different operations happening, everything, right? So it was really nice, and it was being rolled out in the native language as well, in Tamil, right? So I asked them to put it on all the different regional languages available in India, right? So something a different thing, right? This you are helping out a school kid, right? Those are the +1 or +2 kind of a grade, right? You're creating something for them and making them to learn very interactively, right? This we focus to do it for the school kids those are nearby our institution. We have a lot of villages near our institution. We want to do something for the villages that we have adopted, right? So for those school students, for Tamil medium students, we have created this, right? So after seeing that, they are told like understanding something very different, even if it's a physics subject, right? So how the concave and convex lens is being working, what the functionality of it, right? Taking the lens as such, giving out something and rotating here and there on a 360-degree angle and making them understand in a more better way. And that too in Tamil, right? So that was very impressive, and students they gave a very good feedback, right? So these things I'm giving you an example of a school education. The same concept you can deploy it for your engineering education as well. How are we going to use augmented reality and virtual reality in our own teaching and making the students will also develop something for your teaching? For example, you are making one batch of students to develop something in augmented reality or virtual reality. The same thing you will give it to the next batch of students, ask them to improvise it so that the software is getting, the version is getting updated and you are using it for the next batches to learn. Right? So this is one kind of a tool. The other platform for learning the computer science related resources will be Geeks for Geeks. So you have a lot of concept related materials as well, the practice platform. Right? Even it's very good for data structures, algorithms, TPMs, and for all the coding languages, you can use Geeks for Geeks. And there will be a lot of coding challenges as well, and motivate the students to take up a lot of contests and challenges which will improvise their critical thinking, right? And as well as problem solving ability too, right? Another your own coding. For example, suppose they have created some project, right? They want to showcase that project to the interviewer, right? So at that moment they can push all their code into GitHub, right? And they can show their GitHub repository to the interviewer to showcase the project, whatever they have done, right? So ask the students to create, these are all completely at free of cost. I'm not giving anything to you that it is being expensive or some costly kind of a thing, right? Everything is free of cost, only the student and the faculty they have to create an account, right? So ask them to push all their coding into the GitHub and they can show this GitHub repository at the time of interview or even at the time of project presentation to the faculty. So this is a very good platform where students can create, store, manage and share their codes. Right? It will tell which student have contributed which code. You can even go and see, suppose it's a tree project, right? You can see that which student has contributed which part of the code. Right? That as a faculty you can evaluate as well. Then as I told you, the beginner level of student can learn coding in Python, C, C++ or Java in a platform called Programmers. Right? So you can also, even the non-CSCIP faculty members, you can also inform your students to learn coding through this platform so that they can start right from the scratch. Right? Another important international forum which is freely available for all the faculty and students is Stanford Online. There you have a lot of free courses, right, of a high standard. Imagine that a student that doing some kind of a undergraduate program in US, right? The same kind of a material is available for your students as well, right? So you can go to this platform, Stanford Online, and make use of all the free courses available, right? I'll tell you two important courses. The course code is CS50, right? So CS50, one is for computer programming, right? You can learn the fundamental computer programming through that course. Another course is Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, right? The course code is CS50, right? 50. And the next one is the Emerging Technology Certifications, right? So, as I told you, some of the industries, they started to hire through the domain specific knowledge of the students. We call them to be domain specific hiring, right? If a student is doing data science course and is certified as a data scientist, or if suppose a student is very good at DBMS, right, very good at MySQL, and they have got certification from Oracle through the foundations of DBMS, certification from the Python Institute. I'm telling you the global level certifications, not the certifications that I mentioned earlier from Infosys Springboard or Twitter. This emerging technology certifications I'm telling you as a global level certifications, right? That is valid for the entire lifetime, right? That certifications will be very tough to clear, but once they clear, right, the opportunity for them in the job market is very high. So understand these things, identify what are all the emerging technology certifications that has been recognized globally, and make sure that the faculty and students are also doing those kind of certifications. I'm giving you some kind of an example, right? So a lot of certifications available. You can even go through the NASCOM platform, where NASCOM has given a lot of global certifications, right? You can also see Oracle platform and companies like Cognizant, TCS, everybody now, they want the candidate to be skilled enough before they onboard into their industry, right? Skilling comes not only through certifications, right? And they should also have some kind of projects on hand. They should also explore the ideas in a more better way so that their communication skill is very good. Nowadays, industries are having a separate assessment as communication assessment. Right? They wanted to have the candidate, whomsoever is being recruited, to communicate and share their ideas to the clients or the customers in a more precise way. That's very important, right? A student can be good at coding, good at project, and good at certifications, but he or she may not be in a position to communicate very well. Right? That should not be the case. Motivate the students to communicate very clearly and precisely. Right? So domain certifications and emerging technology certifications are the need of the hour today. Right? If you motivate your students to grab these opportunities, then their job will be very much assured. Right? Industries are now expecting whether the students have completed emerging technology certifications that are globally recognized. Right? And another tool by name Visual Pattern, it is also freely available to if you want to do a kind of a mind mapping. I hope you all know what is mind mapping, right? Imagine that you are taking a very complex topic, right? Even computer science faculty will tell you theory of computation, right? Or a compiler design, right? Which the subject is very vague in that. You wanted to teach them a kind of a mind mapping concept, right? This tool is a very good tool. So there is another tool called Miro, M-I-R-O, Miro. M-I-R-O, Miro. This tool is called Visual Paradigm, where it is free of cost. You just have to create an account. And you can create a mind map in this. As I told you, collaboratively, you can ask the students to create mind map. For example, one student is creating a big picture, right? From the center big picture, you have to create the branches all throughout, right? Now, you're going to teach the student to make use of this visual paradigm tool as well to create different branches so that in a team of 3 or 4 students, each and every student is creating different branch. After understanding the concept, they are giving you a full mind map technique to you and say that now I'm prepared this, right? Then now you evaluate that mind mapping prepared by the student through this platform and you can grade them. Right? The best of the mind map can be given to all the other students as well. You can download and share that the best mind mapping that has been created by the best team. Right? Now you are giving some kind of a personalized thing. You are giving a collaborative learning. Right? You are exposing them to a hands-on experience. Right? And as well as also integrating the technology into your classroom through visual paradigm. Using it for your engineering education. right? And Miro is also a similar example. Miro and Canva, everything you can collaborate, ask the students to collaborate as a team inside the classroom itself, right? So that through collaboration, they can create presentations, they can create mind map, and for computer science and IT related faculty, you can also create UML diagrams. I hope you have the subject or object-oriented analysis and design, am I right? For that subject, you will create UML diagrams, your class diagrams, sequence diagrams, and all the stuff you can make through this visual paradigm. Right? So make use of these technologies in your teaching methodology. Shall I proceed with that? Or? Again, have a kind of an interactive session now, because if I go to this topic, this will take another 10 to 15 minutes. As Madam was telling that we need to break for lunch at 12:45, so it's been another 2 to 3 minutes. Right? If you want to have any kind of queries related to whatever I have told you right from the morning, you can discuss with me. Right? One thing I would like to tell you some examples, the best examples of what a faculty, how a faculty can transform the life of a student. One small story, right? So one faculty had a student where that student is not that much comfortable with the classes, right? Upon compulsion of the parent, the student have come to engineering education, and they're not much interested to learn, and they're not much interested to clear the subjects, somewhat like that, right? Now, what is the role of a teacher over here? That teacher is completely motivating the student that you can do well, you can do better, right? As it was forced by the parent to the student, right? The student was not having that kind of a rapport with the parent as well, right? But as a faculty, you can completely transform their lives, right? You keep on motivating the student, right? The faculty also motivated the student in such a way that that student also graduated by clearing all the courses in their curriculum, graduated, and is now settled down very well. Right? Why am I giving this example? Even a student with more number of arrears, you can take that student as a challenging for you, motivate them, keep on insisting them that you can do. When you educate and when you keep on motivating them in such a way that you can do that, try to clear the subject so that you will get this job, or you can go for higher studies, or you can even start your own startup, right? When you keep on talking with them and when you tell them that you are able to do, you have a talent within you, where don't you come up, right? That makes a small difference in their life, right? That is very kind of heart-touching moment that you will have when that candidate is graduating from your institution, when that graduate is getting a job, or when that graduate is pursuing a master's program, right? That is what the satisfaction we should have. Some of the students will be very bright, right? They will come, they will get good grades, they get placed, right? That is one set, right? You can make them do bigger things. That is one kind of different motivation, right? Make sure that you are also taking some challenging kind of students, identifying them right from the lower semester, keeping on motivating them so that they are also getting some kind of a good presence in the society, right? Making them to have a good recognition in the society, you are part and parcel of it, right? That we should do. Yes, sir.
How to manage the stress inside the class?
Yes, very good question. Sarah is asking how to manage the stress inside the class, right? We as a faculty, we should be much more maturity. We should have a kind of a maturity level in handling the students of all cadres, right? That will be kind of a different disturbance inside the classroom where the faculty will get irritated, right? Or some of the faculty may not have class control. At that time, you may also will get kind of a disturbance, right? So now the faculty is getting a pressure or tension, right? Why these set of people are not listening to me, right? So at that moment, you try to give some kind of an activity to them. Bring them on the stage and ask them to present. Right? When you do so, they will also have some kind of an intention to learn. And don't make any kind of a stress about yourself so that you will not have a positive kind of an approach for your next class. Right? At the same moment, a faculty should not get demotivated. Right? Making sure that every one of your class is having a complete control on you. Right? See an eye contact of each and every student. Keep a kind when your delivery is very good and when your delivery is very satisfactory and creating a confidence within the students will have an attention towards you. They will not move away from you. Right? When you have a complete class control and all the students and all the audience are listening to you, right, you will feel the satisfaction. At the moment, you will not have any stress at all. Right? Make yourself also feel very fun in teaching. Don't get stressed upon, as I told you, don't get everything that you have to implement on the day next. Right? Go in a slower way, step by step, that this day I will do this. One day I will give visual paradigm. Right? The other day I will give something different assignment. Another day I give a problem-based learning or a project-based learning. One by one we go in a slower way. Right? As a faculty, right, you should also have some kind of commitment towards your class. Right? Doesn't make it that so much of work and so much of things is coming into your mind, so I feel so pressure or tense. No. You should also feel that I have a larger commitment to the society. A set of students are being given to me. I have to groom them up to a greater level. Right? So I, as an educator, I have to fulfill the responsibility what it has been given to me. When you have that in your mind, I think you will not have stress at all. Right? You are passionate in doing it. When you have that kind of a passionate, for sure you will also be designating your teaching methodology in a more fun-filled way. Yes, sir.
Stress comes outside.
When stress comes outside, sir, well, that's what. You should have a balance between your professional and personal life. Right? That's from outside, I don't understand. Not personal, sir. So, that is a general thing, right? When you come here, you should have your own responsibility of giving the best to the students, right? So, that is what the work culture we should develop, right? We'll be having a lot of roles and responsibilities. As a teacher, we'll be having administrative role, right? As a teacher, we have to teach the students. We have to monitor the projects. As a teacher, we have to do a lot of things like counseling, mentoring, everything, right? But we have to fulfill all the roles and responsibilities in a streamlined way. Don't measure with all the work and feel so stressed or pressure, right? Everything has to be done in a strategic way, right? So at the beginning of the semester, how am I going to roll out the entire semester? Have a timeline. Right, complete all the tasks within the time frame. Then you will not have stress at all. Right? I didn't start with this, right? Because we'll have a break for the lunch, and then we'll resume the session after lunch.
The session by our esteemed chief guest was highly enlightening and impactful. Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, we are now taking a lunch.